Welcome to the 109th episode of Where's Wayne and Kelly. See, I changed the name days. Like how I did that? We have a special guest. We have an Esquire today. Why do they call attorneys Esquire?
Well, Esquires are actually licensed lawyers. When you get licensed, believe it or not, that's when you get your Esquire.
61 years of living.
Yeah.
So you're a lawyer when you finish school?
Yeah.
And then when you get your license, you're an Esquire.
Exactly. You're a lawyer. Once you get licensed, now you can be known as Esquire.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then PA, does that mean professional attorney?
Professional association, not professional attorney. Oh, geez.
Now,
questions.
I don't know if I ever knew that answer or not. Professional association.
Professional association, not professional attorney.
Oh, I thought, because I know a lot of unprofessional attorneys.
Yeah. Let me not comment on that one.
Yeah, we both like it's. I did real estate for a number of years, and there's good real estate agents and bad real estate agents.
Absolutely.
And in everybody's world, you have that. And no hate. I don't want any hate texts. So, when did you? I know a lot of answers, but I'm going to ask questions like I don't know. Okay. Sure. So, where did you go to law school?
I went to Nouveau Law School, and Fort Lauderdale was actually the only law school I applied to because my sister had just entered her. Well, she finished her first year. My cousin had applied. I'm a family of attorneys, so I said, "Well, I'm only going to go to law school if I can go with my sister and my cousin." So I did.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, two things. But first of all, my adopted nieces, the Cloonan twins, are going to be playing basketball for Nova this year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very excited about that. But second of all, I don't like to talk a lot about. I was going to say something funny about sex, but what is your son doing now? One of your sons.
Well, my son is an attorney as well.
And so you made an attorney as well.
And what?
You made an attorney.
I sure did. And so he's working with he's at my law firm right now, which is very exciting. It's like good and bad. Good in that I have my son with me and I'm teaching them how to do things right, and bad that at the end of the day, I'm also his employer, so sometimes I gotta lay it how it is. So it's good and bad.
Are you mom or boss at this moment?
Yes, exactly.
And where did he go to school?
He went to FIU, Florida International University, down here in Miami. Yeah, that's a great school. When I went to law school, FIU Law did not exist. So I definitely would have loved to go there today.
Now you have two sons total?
I have two sons and a daughter. Yes, 3 kids.
And your other son has chosen not to follow the family business. Will we still love him?
We still love him very much. Yes. He chose the construction route, which I think is going to be great for him. I love that. When I started my college career, I wanted to be an architect. It was always about real estate for me. So, but at that moment in time, I didn't know there was going to be this whole computer world, and I wouldn't have to be drawing every single night. And so I spent nights up drawing. And I said, this is not for me. And then lo and behold, computers came. I'm like, shoot, I would have probably stayed as an architect. I don't know. But I'm really happy that he's chose it because I'm living what I would have loved,
Right. So, very cool. Well, and if everyone wants to do like an internship next summer,
Sure.
I'll let him know. Because, our world's kind of fun for construction. And it opens up a lot of avenues, just, putting that out there. And this was news to me. This was not purposely done as a recruiting method. But so was there other older, I know your cousin and your sister, but was there anybody else in law?
Oh my goodness. I have so many people. My brother, all 3 of us. I have a brother and a sister. We're all attorneys. I have 2 other cousins that are attorney. I have 2 nieces that are at FIU right now studying for law. I have my son My nephew is also an attorney. He graduated about 2 years ago. We're just like a whole family of attorneys. It's funny, like on my side, it's law. And on my husband's side and my brother's wife's side is medical. I have like 5 dentists in the family. I
Yeah,
have surgeons. I have like, you name it, we have it. But really are a family of professionals, and
very
always
cool.
helping people. Yeah.
No, what's your daughter doing?
My daughter, she got a bachelor's in business and she's working with me too. So she's helping me run the business.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Must be nice to keep everybody together.
Yes, it
So,
is.
so I know it's been a very boring time in the legal world of associations and condominiums. So you're
Mhm.
probably just sleeping through this period and just waiting
Oh
for it
my
to get
God.
exciting.
Yes. I cannot stay awake how boring it's been.
Yes, that's right. But and so we love having attorneys on. I think it's a really good contribution to our viewers. What things are you seeing out there in the field? So here I'm giving an example. I'm going to be very careful how I do this, but people don't see my calendar. I was at a property recently, having a nice chat with some board members, and I asked them about, and they're under a concrete restoration, and they didn't feel things are going well. I think it's more of their lack of experience. I think they might be being handled very well by their contractor and their engineer. So kudos to that. And they were kind of shocked for me saying, you may need our services, you may not. And so, but when I walked in a building's old. Well, I don't want to be too close on identifying it, but it's an older building, a beautiful building, beautiful, and it's one of those beautiful buildings ever. I'm doing fun. So, but I noticed it didn't look like it had a sprinkler system. So I said, "Are you all going to do ELSS, or what are you planning on doing?" He said, "Well, we're going to opt out." And I said, "Oh, really? You're going to opt out?" Because I've heard that 1,000 times. I said, "Do you know what that means?" Yeah, oh yeah, it means we're not going to do a sprinkler system. I said, "No, that's not what it means. It means that you're not going to fully sprinkler the building. That means you have to now either get ELSS, and when that date expires, then you have to fully sprinkler, which is much more expensive, much more invasive." No, of course, at least they know more than I do. I'm only in the business. So I said, and I swear this isn't for you, I just said, "Don't ask me, contact your attorneys." And so there's so many people that think they know what they're talking about and they don't. I know from our perspective, it's really easy because we always just politely say, and for everything we do, I mean, we always encourage everything that gets done by contracts, and not because we love attorneys, but in our world, it's extremely important to have very ironclad, well-written contracts that are favorable to the association, but also fair to whoever they're doing the contract with. But what are you seeing out there? Or is my experiences anomalies, or what kind of phone calls are you experiencing in this crazy climate?
No, I think that the issue that you just these nonprofit organizations are not qualified to make the decisions that they're making. I think a lot of them are making decisions probably in self-interest, or just not having, or what they don't have the knowledge and think that they do, which is exactly what you said. And honestly, this changes in education. And I went in front of the House of Representatives and I actually also pitched the idea that there isn't enough education, and that there's a lot of people that are running these nonprofit organizations, multi-million-dollar businesses, that have never gone to school on how to run a business. They don't know anything about financing and are depending on managers, depending on accountants, CPAs to make these huge decisions for them. And it's just not right. So I think that now with the education, I think we're going to see a shift in that. If you really want to be part of the board of directors for a condominium association, you really got to want to do it. You're going to have to do your courses, and you're going to have to listen to your attorneys. And hopefully there's attorneys out there that they get these board of directors that don't want to listen, and they'll say, "See you later, go find someone else." So yeah, I see a lot of that and I'm the first one that when I see a client that takes that position that they know more than I do or they're doing wrong, I'll tell them, look, you need to either sit in my class and listen to what I'm saying, or you need to find someone else. So yeah, that's a common thing, that I'm just, it's terrible, but it's true.
Right. We always say our best clients are the ones that know what they know and know what they don't know and use the proper resources. We're not attorneys. We're not property management people, so we don't know how to do that. But our particular company, I think we got a pretty good idea what we know. And when we get some very successful board members. I mean, some people that are I'm just blown away. And a lot of them, they're like, one's let's call him an international developer. Guys, that's phenomenal. But he was pushing for us to come on board because he says, I don't want to do it. I want, you guys are local, you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get us through this project, because this is what you do all the time. Because I'm working internationally. I don't, he probably could do probably just as well of a job as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows what he knows what he doesn't know. And we've got a couple with this one that we're hopefully gonna be working with very soon. She's run international huge companies, just crazy companies. But and once again, she saw what we do and she wants to use the experts and she uses her attorney and she, people that know how to use all the right people to meander through this stuff. But this is serious stuff with buildings. And I think you're going to see red tagging more and more and more. And, it has to happen because we have to worry about people's safeties first. I care about people's wallet, but you have to care. Safety's got to be, life before wallet.
Exactly. And I want to go back in the comment that you just made where you have board of directors that are putting the right team in place. And I have a lot of those as well. There's a lot of great people out there, a lot of great board of directors that are professionals, but don't have the time to really sit and take care of the condominium and put 20, 40 hours a week on taking care of the matters. But it's like you said it, if they put the right team in place, they're fantastic. I call them the Fantastic Five. You have your attorney, the board of directors, your insurance agent, your CPA, and your manager. If you got that right team in place, then you're going to be successful in your condominium or homeowner association. So it's tough, but you're right. There are a lot of people that are doing it right, and it's just getting the right people in place.
Unfortunately, we like to talk about the ones that aren't, but and there are some there's some great property management companies that really help forge that as well.
Sure.
Which and then there's other ones that are just trying to get business and do it on the cheap.
Yep, I agree with that too.
I don't want to call my attorney. I'm like, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always. And this isn't an attorney advertisement either. It's just, this is a fact of life conversation.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the birds and bees of condos and HOAs.
Exactly. But I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. And here in Miami, there's a lot of Hispanic communities, meaning that there's a lot of board of directors out there that English is not their first language,
right.
And they weren't born in Florida, United States of America. They came from, Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela. They're coming from I have clients from Argentina. So they don't know the laws here in the United States, and they're not very well versed in English either, and I have a lot of those communities, but it goes the same, that as long as they pick the right people and they understand, then they can actually function without even knowing English. And they're the president of the board of directors, so it's like I'm dealing a lot with that right now. I guess because of my name and Hispanic background, I get a lot of those types of board of directors that aren't well versed in English. So I think that it's even more important also, at least down here in Miami, Florida, where it's predominantly Hispanic people. So I'm having to also do translations and board certifications in Spanish. And so it just kind of like, I just go with the flow down here. But that's another problem. It's the English versus the Spanish down here in Miami, Florida.
Well, you left out the biggest country that people come from to live in South Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which country? Which one you left out?
Which one?
New York.
New York. Well, yeah, that's a big over there too.
And
You know, I'm
sometimes I
getting,
think they might be from another planet, and I love
yeah,
them. But
yeah.
well, that's not how we do it in New York. And it's like,
No,
okay.
it's its own thing. Yeah, I'm
And there's
getting a
some really
lot.
good construction laws from New York that Florida's adopted. But
Yeah,
there's other things they do that I think are crazy. They don't understand the salt air. Even though New York is on the ocean, they don't experience what we
no.
experience here. And it's a different world. And I love the ones that go, oh, we get it. This is different. So help us meander our way through.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about not allowing online education for board certification?
Oh, no, I don't feel that. I don't agree with that at all. I think it should be both. You have your classroom setting, you have your online setting, the Zoom. I mean, you just can get so much more attendance and participation, if you just offer the different modalities. So I don't, I
My
mean, I,
concern is people turn off the volume, they turn off their camera, they put in the time and don't get the education. It's hard to do that in person.
well, it depends on how you run your webinar, and it depends how you teach it. So a webinar, a lot of times you can't see the people, which I can't stand. I love to see people's eyes, but if you have a Zoom setting, are you allowed to see people, and ask them, hey, you need to stay focused and stay online and present, or I'm going to knock you off and you won't get the credit you need. So
Oh,
really,
good. I like
yeah,
that one.
so yeah, it really comes down to how you teach your class and you're running the show. So
Yeah.
if these are your rules and you set the rules before you teach, then that's what needs to be complied with. That's the way I see it. Um, I was an educator, I was a teacher before I became an attorney, believe it or not. And so I have a little background on that. And it's like, hey, it's my classroom and I teach it the way I want. And if you don't like it, then go take the class with somebody else.
When I first came down here, and we still teach at the classes, and James LaGreca's he taught it in a couple schools in Florida for about 10 years on the side. He did to recruit employees. So, and he's one of those. He's just a great teacher. Good business for him. But and it hasn't happened in quite a while when we're like with the L&L trade shows where people come to the show, and sometimes I'll check people in. I'll have people check in and then not walk in the room, they'll walk away. And I got my big black marker and I just mark their name out and try to forget who they were. But don't cheat the this is valuable learning experience, and don't, if you got to treat it like that, and board members need to treat it. I think more and more people want to be a good contribution to the board, but you get those ones that, oh, I'm on the board of blah, blah, blah. Big deal.
Yeah.
But
you're always going to get that.
You have to deal with all of them just as much as we do.
Yeah. You're not going to make everybody happy, but the way I see it, if it's my class, Kelly, if it's your class, then you run it the way you want it,
Right.
and I'm not going to put my license on the line. I'm not going to be the one that, that person that decided to walk out of my class and then made a stupid decision. And then, wow, but he took your class. Well, that's why it's like, hello. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people. You're not going to make everybody happy, but you know what? You don't have to sit in my class. You don't have to listen to me. So if you decide to leave, you left, and I'll mock you. Like, I'm not going to give you the credit. I'm not going to give you the certificate. And I think that that's what the DBPR want. I know that's what legislation wants, to make sure that you really are educating these people, not just giving them a free certificate. They really have to be engaged. And I think it comes down to whoever's teaching is gonna create that environment and really look at people's eyes and say, okay, they got it. And if they didn't get it, then you're gonna say it a different way, or you're gonna use some other type of a prop or whatever it is to really look in their eyes and say, okay, yeah, they got it, they understood, and then you move on. And that's really teaching.
So, and I'm blanking on her name, but I love her. We had her actually on our show last year. She runs DBPR. Yeah, I always get, was it? Oh, well, I always screw up the letters, but what is her name?
Is it Melissa?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
It's terrible. I feel terrible. I can't remember her name. Anyway, can you see her name everywhere? It's so funny. But we had her on the show, and I was, once again, I'm not really much of kissing or throwing out fake praise. I think they have done such a great job in the last several years of really turning that department around, and they're dealing with all kinds of stuff, and they're dealing with people that cut your hair and people that, you know, take care of the condominiums and everybody, and the attorneys, everybody. You all have to go through them. And I think they've really become extremely proactive and really become an asset as opposed to a government pain in the, you know what.
I agree. And you know, anybody that shames them or talks bad about them, they're going through a lot. They got a lot of people. They're dealing with a lot of complaints. They're dealing a lot, you know, with people that probably shouldn't be complaining about what they're complaining about. People with vengeance against other people. I mean, if they only dealt with legitimate, you know, issues that, okay, let's all like speak like adults and let's work this out, it'd probably cut a lot of their business. You know, they'd have more time on their hands. But I agree with you, Kelly. I think they're doing a good job. I think that, you know, the way they've organized their education, the way they've organized the site and try to manage things, in my opinion, the cases, you know, they have been dealing with them a lot quicker. And I always recommend, you know, clients to reach out to them and gather more information. I turn them over to their educational links and I go over there, you get a lot more information. Even in my classes, I show them how to go into their website and grab information that they can get. And look, here's what you can find here. And they're all like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, they have a lot.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's compared to most states, I think they really, really give up. They're actually, they're good. You know, people always go, what can the government do this well? And on the state level in Florida, I think we got it going on. So
I agree.
Yeah. And there's still a lot, you know, but we still need a lot of attorneys. There's still a lot of shenanigans. I'm shocked.
You always need an attorney. You always, that's funny because I got asked by another friend of mine that his daughter's in law school now too. And he says, well, what do you think? I mean, I think there's too much attorneys in Miami. I'm like, listen, there's so much business out there. There's so many issues, you know, and in a community, you gotta, honestly, you're in a community. It's, let's say you got 1,000 units there. Not everybody gets along. So there's always going to be work for attorneys to try to solve these civil issues. You know, there's just, I find like there's just so much work. You just got to go out there and find the right, you know, area that you like and do good for people. You do good and you're going to get back good. So.
Unlike Spike Lee, who threw the chair through the window at the end of the movie, Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
I'm still bitter about that. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
That movie was so great until it went off the rails at the end. But if that's, we always, you know, play well in the sandbox. You live in a community. Let's not be so selfish. Let's do the right thing. And it's always, I always tell people when they're going to do a major renovation or a restoration or beautification project, you know, on the large scale, then first person you call is your attorney, then you call us. And they're always shocked that I say the attorney first, but I mean it, you know, it's, you have to go through the process properly. And if you plan properly and go through the steps, like you said, the Fantastic Five. I love that. Say it again. Who you're, well, you left us out, but it's okay. We're special.
Well, yeah, the contractor is not on the Fantastic Five, but you got your attorney, your property manager, your insurance agent, your board of directors, and your CPA. That to me is your Fantastic Five, yeah.
And then when you're doing a major capital improvement, that you need the protection of us. But this is not about an advertisement for us. And we could talk about roof and all kinds of stuff, but Wayne didn't make it in today. So I don't know if I'm going to drop today or tomorrow. I would drop every Wednesday, and we do our shows every Wednesday. But sometimes we have to change it up, and usually it works out well. But we miss Wayne. Wayne has much better questions. But so one that he texted me. He said to ask her. Let me just make that up. What has been the most bizarre condominium event that you have ever had to deal with?
What do you mean by event? Like
where you got called in because, and you're like, holy smokes, why in the world am I dealing with this?
Oh, geez. There's so many. I don't know. I think probably one was, and this is probably crazy and it's a bad scenario, but one that sticks to me, like, what the heck just happened? And I'm sitting in the board of directors meeting, and all of a sudden people start asking me, where's the money? Where's the money? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where's the money? Like, why are you asking me where the money is? And apparently there was some money missing. So I looked to the board of directors. I'm like, are they asking me where's the money? What are they talking about? I looked to the manager and I was like, I felt like I was in Twilight Zone. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave now. I've never walked out of a meeting, right? And I said, you know what, everybody, I appreciate you all and I'm glad I'm here, but obviously you got the wrong person. I walked out. Listen, that manager wiped them out of all the reserves and all the bank accounts. And she was making it out to seem like I knew about what was going on. She actually got arrested and went to jail. But that was crazy. I mean, after that, the board of directors called me. They had no idea, but it almost seemed like just the manager was trying to make it like it was, I don't know. I to this day, like I can't figure out what it was that she was thinking and the fraud. You know, it's like, I don't think fraudulent. So it was hard for me to fathom, you know, how this whole scheme that she was doing, but that was probably the worst one.
And she's trying to make you the scapegoat.
Yeah. And I can give you one more that was really funny. So I'm sitting at the board of directors meeting and oh my God, I laughed so much. I'm sitting and all of a sudden we're like in this, you know, clubhouse that was not repaired. For sure, they would have needed your service. They needed to redo everything, but this community had no money to get things fixed. All of a sudden, these little things start flying around. We started getting swarmed with termites.
Oh my God.
And to me, that was like, I left laughing, but it was really sad to think that we were sitting in this place that was termite infested. And I guess the lighting they had just started attracting them. We all like ran out of there because of how many termites there was. So that was like a funny, but terrible, but yet bizarre, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah.
I've been to meetings with potential clients, and they'll tell me like, you know, we have off-duty police officers come to our board meetings. And I'm like, well, I wonder if this could be a successful outcome. You know, and it doesn't completely negate that we would do business with them, but it makes we definitely take that into consideration. It's like if you guys can't, you know, there's certain property where people have told me where in the past the construction crew will be on site and people are throwing bricks at them and you know from above I'm like,
that's crazy.
You could kill somebody. What is wrong with people?
Yeah, like, that's crazy.
Kudos to the property that put the property manager in jail.
Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of communities where I say I will not go unless there's a security. And there's times that I take my own security, you know? So, and that's unfortunate. It's sad.
No, that's very unfortunate. It's not a way to have a community. No. You know, some people don't belong in communal like atmospheres. And if you got all these people and you're all supposed to be following the same rules, it always amazes me. We do some HOA work, but not a whole lot. But I'm always amazed when you've got that person that lives in the HOA but wants to buck the system.
Yeah.
It's like just live in a non-HOA place. I mean,
exactly.
3 cars in the yard and choose to do. If you want to paint your house a crazy color, just find a non-HOA and please don't be near me.
Exactly. Some people are not meant to live in communities like that. So they need to move. You have to just go, you know, unfortunately. But
one of my favorite things is no matter what the assessment is, or no matter what the monthly fees are, people are always unhappy with the number. And it's like, you're doing, you know, you've got all these things you have to do. That you're part owner in the association.
Yeah.
The money's got to come somewhere.
You know, in my experience, I think that when you got a lot of unhappy people and irate people, and you got these communities where you have to bring a security, sometimes there's few people that are just, you're not gonna be able to convince them anything you do is wrong, right? But a lot of these meetings are fixed, in my opinion, by being transparent to absolutely, you know. And when you got a community that is just showing up and they're upset, I would say have a meeting every single month and give them more information, give the newsletters, show them what they're complaining about, that, hey, look, here it is, it's okay. Like, don't show as if you're hiding or don't want to show face to them, you know.
Right.
And it fixes a lot. But that's still, you're going to have some people you're going to have haters no matter what, you know, as far as how I see it, you know, down here in Florida and in Miami anyways. But
it's no different anywhere else on the planet. But well, I know you got to go actually do some real work, but I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Introduce you to Wayne. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's getting docked. You know, we're a no revenue podcast, and he's not getting anything this week.
Well, it was nice being here, Kelly. Thank you, and I'll meet him on another occasion.
Look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Yes.
Oh, and as I mentioned that, for anybody who's a property manager or a board member, it's at Hilton in Aventura, I think it is. And look, you can look online or look on my website or my my LinkedIn. Castle's about to have a big event on Thursday, so it's not too late to register. I try to be helpful, but you have a great rest of the week. It's a 4-day week, so now we're gonna have to work even harder. So hang in there, and I look forward to seeing you at the next event.